Hey friends, my name is Elamin Abdelmahmoud, and this is a special edition of the Commotion podcast. And I'm really excited about this one. You're going to hear a lot of laughs, okay? But before we get there, let me just set it up for you. Okay, so there's a period of time where the internet kind of felt like it was all brimming with possibility. I'd say maybe 2008 to 2014 or so. I don't know. It was a long time ago. But anyway, in that period of time, blogs flourished. And blogs weren't quite journalism, but also weren't quite diary either, right? It was like something suspended in the middle, and they were so addictive. And if you had like this strong writing voice or just any ability to move people with your writing, it truly felt like a golden era. And this stretch gave rise to some of the voices that I still to this day admire in today's media landscape. Chief among them, though, is Samantha Irby. Her blog, Bitches Gotta Eat, was for years just like, the best place on the internet. Sam has gone on to be a best-selling author. She's published 4 essay collections. She's known and truly just loved for her distinct voice because she's so funny. She tells so many relatable stories about diarrhea, about pop culture, or just about everything under the sun. I love Sam. Sam is also a TV writer. She wrote that beautiful pool episode of Shrill. She's also written for the Sex and the City reboot, which is called And Just Like That. So I talked to Sam last week. I talked to Sam over Zoom about her latest book, Quietly Hostile. And listen, let me tell you this. It was supposed to be a 10-minute conversation, but we had so much fun. We just kept rolling and rolling and rolling. And before you know it, we were just like laughing our way through 45 minutes straight. So what you're going to hear now is the extended conversation just for folks on the podcast. Please enjoy it as much as we did. I have to say, we've been internet friends for a long time, but this is our first time finally getting a chance to chat. Like,
I know.
This is your first time. That is my first time hearing your voice being directed at me. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yes.
It's my first. I told you when we logged on, I was just like, I'm so used to hearing his voice out of my shower speaker. Like when I was about to log in, I was just like, I don't know what this is going to be like. I'm going to be expecting him to tell me about the news of the day while I sit in silence.
So here's the thing: is like what I want to do is just talk to you about like Ben Affleck for the rest of the conversation.
Oh my God! Did you see that picture?
Did
J-Lo
I see
posted?
that picture? Did I see? I got an alert for that picture. We're talking about a picture that Jennifer Lopez posted of Ben Affleck shirtless for Father's Day, and it was a fantastic picture. But this is the problem, Sam, is like we have all this history, and I want to talk to you about Ben Affleck, and I want to talk to you about The Town starring Ben Affleck, written by Ben Affleck, directed by Ben Affleck.
Incredible movie.
But I have to like do the formal thing and be like, Sam, you wrote a book. Can we talk about the book for a minute? Do you want to talk about the book?
Yes,
or do you want to talk about Ben Affleck?
Yes, we could talk about the book, but we could do it briefly. Listen, if
go off, let's go.
If people like my Ben Affleck takes, then they'll just automatically like buy the book, right? Like, I believe that. I'm just going to say this one last thing. I am so happy they got back together.
I'm so happy they got back together too. I was rooting for them. They deserve each other. They are perfect together. And that Father's Day post is exactly the evidence we needed that there's nothing that's going to break them apart now. You know, like I believe this is forever.
Yeah, they are in it to win it. They're in it for the long haul. She is so beautiful and he is so hot. I can stand it, but I can't stand it. You know,
can barely stand it. Sam, we've now used up a third of our time not talking about your book. Do you want to talk about the book for a moment?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
We must.
Maybe
although I would just gossip with you truly any time.
That's what I wish we had time for. It's like we should just do an hour of us just gossiping together.
Yes, let's start a gossip. Yes, but like a one episode, very niche, specific podcast about the people we care about.
We're talking about Jeremy Renner's character in The Town and how he goes, "Whose car are we taking?" That's the entire conversation between you and I. Okay,
I'm just saying if you get bored, then one day.
No, it's not a let's get bored. Let's just do that. That sounds like a delightful time.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay.
I'm
going to be a serious authoress now.
Don't do it on my behalf. My God, I would never ask that of you.
You sound so professional that every time like I get on a microphone, I'm just like blah blah, fart, poop, butt. But you have a real job.
First of all, how dare you sort of talk about yourself in that way? You've written 4 books that are all blah blah, fart, poop, butt.
Can you believe it?
You've built a career on this. I mean, did you ever expect it when you were starting that blog to sort of get to a part where like you're a best-selling author, Sam? Your book is still at the top of the New York Times bestseller list.
First of all, that is insane to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I came from the kind of parents who truly would have laughed in my face if I was like, I want to be a writer. You know what I mean? I never said that. I could imagine my dad being like, okay, well, have fun being a writer who drives a bus every day. You know what I mean? Like he would have been like, this is not how you make money. And it wasn't for so long. Like when I started the blog, I was working at my little animal hospital where I worked for 14 years.
Yeah.
Scooping cat shit, you know?
Yeah.
I had I started the blog to try to get people to date me.
Sure.
I'm sorry. That has to be the motivation of like
any writer on earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why don't people say that ever? I'll be the one. I write these books because I have a deep pit of need that can only be filled by people telling me how funny my poop is. So I got lucky in that I could make a career out of it, which was not in the plan ever. I thought I would like work in a grocery store till I just dropped dead on the job.
I mean, like you say that and we kind of laugh about it a little bit. You were laughing a little bit a moment ago about your parents and what they would have said to you if you said, hey, I want to become a writer. But like, Sam, in another conception, these are really sad stories. You grew up poor. You grew up, but you've lost both your parents in what, 1999, 1998 or something?
1998, yep.
And like you're turned to humor as like the way of coping with this, but like there's not a lot of room for a lot of sadness here. Do you find that easy? Like, is that easy for you?
I think for me, because I had no safety net. There was no one was telling me to take any time to luxuriate in grief, right? It was like, I understand that some bad things have happened to you, but you have to pay your rent. The day after my mom died, I was working in a bakery and I went back to work.
The day after your mom died, you went to work?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And my boss was like, what are you doing here? And I was like, will you pay me to stay home? She was like, no. And I was like, well, that's what I'm doing here, girl. I gotta pay my half of the rent. And so I think when you don't, at least for me, when you don't have time to wallow and like lick your wounds and like capitalize on your suffering, which I would have loved to. Are you kidding? I love to be babied and cooed at, like all of that. I would have loved for somebody to pat my head, you know?
Yeah.
But when it's like, it's a waste of time, like this grief is a waste of time, that's sad, but it's real.
Yeah.
And so the way that I have found dealing with things, the way that I have found to deal with things, since I don't have time to really like sit around and mourn, is just to like find the jokes.
Right.
I mean, it like jumpstarts the I don't want to say healing process, but
you can. No, you know what that reminds me of?
Say words like that, and you know it.
I know. But you know what? It reminds me of that tweet.
Someone think of an edgier way to say healing process, so I can say that.
If anyone comes up with it, it's gonna be you. Like that's the person who comes up with that phrase.
I know.
It reminds me of that tweet. I don't know if you've ever seen this tweet, but it was like this tweet that was like, "Hey, did you have a happy childhood or are you funny?" Like that's what that reminds me of. You know what I mean? Like this idea of those are kind of the two paths. So like you don't have a healing process. You have, I can cram a bunch of jokes in here.
Yes. Yeah. I think there has to be a way. I mean, if you have to function, again, I wish I didn't, but if you have to function, you have to find something to like get yourself out of bed, like to just
you got to put some fuel in the fuel tank. Yeah,
to jumpstart the getting back to life. And for me, it's always been, what's funny about this? And then I find it, and it's funny.
Sam, it is well into this interview, and I'm finally getting now to ask you about the book. If you would let me, like if that's okay with you.
Yes, I will stop distracting you.
No, please don't. Please don't ever stop doing that. But I'll ask you this. Maybe let's start with the book covers, because we were all kind of at this place where you walk into a bookstore and from 10 miles away you look at a book and it's colorful and it's got an animal on it, and I go, oh, that's a Sam Irby book. It's sitting right there. It has become kind of a branding exercise of sorts if you wanted to use those words. You don't have to use those words. You absolutely do not have to sort of adhere to those words. But
I will not let the B word come out of my mouth.
No.
Ever. Okay, can I tell you about them?
Yeah, because the new book is like
going to disappoint you.
Oh my God, please break my heart. I'm ready. Let's go.
I don't get to pick the covers.
What are you talking about?
It was not my idea with we're never meeting in real life.
Yeah.
That was my first major
you forgot
book.
The name of your first book. That's great. That's fantastic.
I can't remember like my pets' names. You know what I mean? It's like the first cover they sent. Oh, Elamin. Okay, and you know how this works. Let's commiserate. The first cover they sent, I didn't know that I was supposed to be professional and temper
and have thoughts about it.
My reaction. So I wrote to my editor, and it wasn't the animal cover. I was just like, what is this? Like, I'm like 33 years old. This looks like it's for children. What is this? And then apparently what I said made her cry, even though I sent it with a sense of humor. But yeah. So my agent reprimanded me. My agent's real mean, and he yelled at me. So then when we got the second cover, which was the cat cover, I didn't say anything because I had already shown my ass and I didn't want to get in trouble again. So they sent the cat cover, and I was like, okay. And then, like, what are you going to do after that? We're just going to have
committed to the bit.
Colors.
We're committed to the bit.
Uh-huh. Yep. And I love a bit, so it works for me, but this wasn't how I...
But like
I would have put a bunch of like blood and daggers and like piles of human feces on it, so that
doesn't move books, Sam. That would not have.
I'm trying to move bowels, Elamin.
This is truly already the most chaotic time that I've had on the radio, and I'm having a delight of a time.
I'm so sorry.
Not trying to move books, I'm trying to move bowels. Got it. Put that in your bio.
I just want everyone to throw up the minute they touch a book I wrote.
Okay, but hang on, because we are now 4 books deep into this career. Then we got a bright cover. We got a hissing skunk on this one. Do you at least like get to pick the animals now? Like, is that how this works?
Now, yes.
Okay.
So they first sent me a very angry looking fish, which I loved, on a blue background. So we'll save the blue.
Sure.
And maybe we'll do a fish next time. And they sent a oh God, there was a fish and a something else. I don't remember. But Joan Wong, she does the cover. She's amazing. First of all of the animals are like combinations of multiple varieties. She's really like, the cat is 2 kittens blended together. I don't know how she did it.
That's wild. Okay.
That's why I do what I do.
Yeah.
So yeah, after they sent me the fish, I was like, could I get a skunk? I've been trying to get a possum.
We got a skunk this time.
Like screaming, disgusting possum. They won't let me do that, but they did say the skunk was okay.
I will say a possum is significantly grosser. Like if I saw a possum,
I know.
That's more off-putting, which I suppose is what you want of a book called Quietly Hostile.
Yeah, but the marketing, I mean, you know how it is. The marketing, the people who know how to sell books are like, girl.
Oh, it's an entirely different skill set to the one that you have. You know what I mean?
Correct. It's like every instinct I have is like the thing you shouldn't do if you want to sell books.
My book is called,
which is why I'm glad they're there.
My book is called Son of Elsewhere, A Memoir in Pieces, because it was originally called A Memoir in Essays. And someone was like, does it have to say essays though? And I was like, oh, I'm getting the sense that the word essays is not beloved by people who buy books.
Yeah. Well, I wish I could call what I do something else, because they aren't like technical essays. I wish we could call them like printed out blogs, but
that's
not yet.
That terminology has not been invented. Listen, okay, now we're gonna get into the meat of this book, and I'm delighted for us because it only took us 20 minutes to get here, and frankly, I'm proud of us for that. Okay. All right. You start this book.
Shit to you all day.
Okay. I know. That's kind of the problem. Is like, if we don't put a limit on this, it will just never.
Your producer is like, yeah, don't.
I'm literally looking at her right now. She's like, where is this going to go? And Jane, we don't know the answer.
To hell, Jane, to hell.
Listen, you start the book with advice. You write about a very specific situation that I find myself in all the time, which is I go, hey, I kind of like that thing. And someone goes, what? How dare you like that thing? And I'm suddenly having to defend the thing that I like for no reason. You have practical advice for this. The next time that I say, "Hey, I like Ben Affleck," and someone goes, "You really shouldn't like Ben Affleck. What should I do, Sam?"
You should just very calmly and serenely say, "I like him." And don't say anything else.
That's the end of the sentence.
People can't argue with you about what you like because you like it. It's not harmful. He's not hurting anybody. I like him. And then no one knows what to say, although now people will probably like start formulating their responses. But whenever I do it, the person is just like,
I guess that's the end of the sentence.
Yeah, there's nothing left to say.
What is this power? What is the power of, I like it, and that's the end of the sentence?
I think because snotty people, whatever.
It's fine. You already did it.
Snobs.
Yeah.
I mean, people who do things like that, who set traps like that, because that's really what it is.
Yeah.
People who set traps like that are never... like, they're just expecting the reflexive, I'm sorry for being an idiot with bad taste.
Yeah.
And I guess deep down, I am sorry about that. But I don't need to apologize to this regular bitch over here about it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we went to high school together. You think you get to tell me what to watch on TV? That's insane.
Yeah, like Susan Sontag was asking you.
Sure. And I don't like you now. I like the entitlement of someone who wants you to justify your taste to them. Is it because I am a reflexive apologizer. I'm like, oh God, I know that book is so bad and like anti everything that's good. And I'm so sorry, but and now I just say, well, I like it. And then it sucks all the air out of the room. It's a little uncomfortable for a second, and then you move on.
What do you do with the rest of the emotion? What do you do with the rest of the emotion? Because I'm like, I want to apologize and defend myself and be like, please like me and my taste and validate me.
Stuff it like under your stomach, like wedge it between your stomach and your spleen. You cannot say I'm sorry. I know how much you love Taylor Swift. Next time somebody clowns you, I like her.
I feel,
and then just let it hang and you win.
I feel so empowered. I'm so ready to do this. So whoever's ready to come at me. I'm ready to do it.
Yes. Yeah.
That instruction might be useful because, listen, you're a writer on And Just Like That, the Sex and the City reboot.
Oh, my God. Mm-hmm.
And you see where this is going? Yeah. When the first season came out, would you describe the critical reaction?
Well...
You don't have to describe it. I can do it for you.
Well, no, I would say that a lot of people who actually watched the show every week, every episode, multiple times, because when you do that on an app, the people who control the app can see what you do. So we know the numbers. Yes. A lot of people watched the show and then went online to both trash the show and threaten me personally with death. Yeah, to which I say, I'm tired, so come on.
Hold on. This is a problem with talking to you, Sam, is because I'm like, that's a serious thing. You got announced as a writer on Sex and the City's reboot And Just Like That. And then you got death threats, and it's cool. We can make the joke about it. But also, that's nuts.
I know. It isn't. It's
why did
insane.
Why did you get death threats? Like, what happened there?
Well, the ones before the show came out were like, don't mess up my favorite show or I'll kill you. Like, funny. Then, and I got one from a guy who was like, I'd love to be one of the boyfriends. And if you know what's good for you, first of all, I don't know what's good for me.
Like as a casting choice?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Second of all, if anyone thinks that I get to pick
the lead actor of And Just Like That, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, sir, I am one step above like the coffee person. Like, leave me alone. And then afterward, people who hated the show, I think, were like, oh, they added these Black and brown people. Everything I hate is clearly the fault of the Black and brown people. Let me go attack them. I see. And I have a pretty big I'm easy to find. I think easier to find than other people. And so before I figured out how to turn my Instagram DMs off,
yes,
some lady called me a murderer because Mr. Big died in the first episode.
Oh my God.
And then there were lots of kill yourself for making this woke show. And it's like, that's not me.
I didn't do that.
I just want to be like, you know what I contributed? The Chucky in the subway and Miranda getting fingered. The diversity and inclusion, that wasn't on me. I hate diversity no, I'm just kidding. But it's like, come on now. I'm a clown. Every dumb thing, like Carrie pissing into a Snapple bottle is my contribution. All of the smart stuff, not me.
But also, like, the show was on the air and everyone was like, isn't it bizarre that these white people only hang out with white people? Why don't they have more diversity in here? The show comes back and they're like, it appears like we have found some characters of color in this New York. Isn't that great? And everyone's like, how dare they suddenly introduce a bunch of people of color to this show? What do people want, Sam?
Elamin, I don't know, but my new thing is just whether it's about a show I'm working on or not, is to say, how would you do it?
That's the equivalent of I like it in terms of it just shuts the conversation down.
How should we have done it? What's your idea?
And what do people say? They don't say anything.
Nothing, because they don't have shit to say. They just want you to apologize for something that you didn't do wrong.
Ah, boy. Listen, I'm Elamin Abdelmahmoud. This is Commotion. I'm talking to Sam Irby, the author of the new book, Quietly Hostile. We're talking about anything but the book, though. Isn't that incredible, Sam?
I know. I feel like this is when I talk to my friends, it's hard for me to be like a serious. I mean, it's hard for me to be a serious person in general.
You don't have to be a serious person. We just sometimes have the artifice of like, there's this conversation's constructed also for an audience. And we got every once in a while be like, Sam, we're talking to people. There are people in the living room with us.
Hello, Canadians.
That's perfect. You did great. You no longer have to do any more of the acknowledging of the audience. All right, listen. I also want to ask you with the fact that you try to turn your first book of essays into a TV show. You made a short version of the pilot and talked about, trying to cast an actor who's going to play you. Hey, what was that like?
Elamin, it was the worst experience of my life.
Oh my God.
This very specific thing of watching people who would clearly like listen to my audiobook or watch me on YouTube or something, do all my stupid stuff back to me.
They're doing you. Yeah.
To my face while saying jokes I wrote. Excruciating. I was so grateful. I just was like, I can't believe you want to play this mess of a person. And like everyone was so they were all so sweet and so good and so different, but I will never do that again.
Well, wait, but you talked about it. You talked about it as kind of being like a blessing, though. Why is it a blessing?
That the show
didn't work
was
out,
never made.
Yeah.
Oh, because I know we just spend a lot of time talking about the internet, but 7 or 8 years ago, whenever I started the development process, first of all, it takes a long time and you don't get money for it. So keep that in mind, everyone who wants to work in TV. The internet was like a little different then. It wasn't like the dunk fest that it is now. It wasn't like, it felt like there was much less ripping apart.
It genuinely was a nicer place,
of people. And I don't know. No, I do know. I would never want to subject my fictionalized self and life to the scrutiny of people who are, the thing that kills me the most about the internet is like, well, two things. One, you don't know who's a real person or if this is what they actually believe.
Yeah.
And the other thing is just like, people's knee-jerk reaction to just like come up with the snarkiest take. Fine, I love to laugh at a snarky take. If it were about my actual self,
maybe not.
I don't know. I would die. So I'm glad it didn't work out.
I guess that's the reason you're not like you write comedy, but you're not a stand-up comedian, right? Like it's a different skill set.
I will never participate in an art form where the audience comes in the door primed to yell at you. I can't do that. It's like they get their drink tickets and the bouncer's like, by the way, when the fat girl gets on stage, be sure to remind her of how, you know what I mean? Like, oh, no. I want to read at book clubs with moms in cardigans who are going to hug me afterward and maybe like give me some smooches or something. I do not want drunk people to remind me of how terrible I look.
Sam Irby writes books to be adored. Let it be known,
It really, truly, I'm just trying to make friends. On shows, they're like, I'm not here to make friends. I'd be the person who's like, hey guys, I'm not going to compete in the competitions because like you guys are better at it than I am. I just want to like talk to you and be your friend.
That's that's genuinely my vibe. It's like I'm only here to make friends. It's not. I don't want to do anything else. Let's just go for drinks after. I'll lose, but can we go hang out? You know?
Yeah, you do the tightrope challenge or whatever survivor challenge it is this week.
Yeah.
I'll chill over here, and then afterward we'll go get some coconuts and gossip.
And tell me about your life. Exactly right. This is the energy I'm trying to bring wherever I go.
Me too.
Sam, I gotta say, you wrote an essay about whales. Are you into the whale drama that's happening right now? Are you
whales
on team
flipping
whales?
boats?
Yeah, them.
Oh, I'm team whale. I'm team. First of all, they're incredible creatures. I cannot believe we get to be on Earth at the same time as whales. I can't. I don't ever want to touch one or be near one. That feels too scary. But they
Not going whale watching anytime soon.
I mean, if I was in the kind of boat that wouldn't get flipped by a whale, I might. But now, who knows? So I want to stand on the shore and just see a whale in the distance. But they are so huge and they're so magnificent. And I do just every whale thing I will watch. It's so soothing. So soothing to me. They're enormous. And I love that they're flipping boats. They're like, listen, you put all your soda can plastic rings in our home, you know, that's their home, and we just get to dip in it for fun. If they came on land and a whale grew feet, walked up to someone, that person tried to fight the whale, I would defend the person. I'd be like, the land is ours, brother. Go get back in the water.
But this is turning out to be way better than I ever thought it could possibly be. I'm so glad that the time that we had got extended. Listen, I want to end on something that you love. You wrote an essay about Dave Matthews, and you gave a list of 14 songs that you like. Here's a song that you put, I don't know if it was ranked, but this one is the one that you put at number one.
I'm just a fool, baby, playing a Mr. Cool, baby, roll around like I got nothing much to lose. Oh, but I know you and you know me, and I know you can see. So help me find my way back to you, back to you.
The way that Sam was vibing on the Zoom as this song was playing was it just filled me with so much delight. Sam, why do you love this song?
Okay, because first of all, I am 43. Let's get that out of the way.
That number one reason, got it.
Number one reason, 43, got my first, okay. Oh God, we could talk about this forever because I feel like you would agree with this. The way that your high school stuff imprints on you.
Oh yeah.
For the rest of your life.
You have no choice over it. Yes.
Oh my God. So I got his first CD my freshman year of high school. I've been a fan ever since. And as an older person who enjoys sitting down, he makes perfect chair dancing music. You know, a little shoulder shimmy. You know what I'm talking about.
Little shimmy.
A little shoulder
little Dave
shimmy.
Matthews shimmy. Yes.
Yeah, maybe you move your hips a little bit, but you don't have to get up. I appreciate that. I appreciate that he really, like, you can tell he's a nice person.
Yes.
A man of the people. Man of the people. True gentleman scholar.
You got to see him perform live for the first time. What was that like?
It was incredible because it was indoors. That's why I haven't seen him in so long, is because, like, dude usually plays outside and I do not do that.
No, thank you. No outdoor concerts. Got it.
The crowd, you know how sometimes you're like, oh, I don't want to go to the blank show because the people who are going to come are going to be bad. Everyone great. Lots of tie-dye. And people, like, danced, you know, like the dance as if no one's watching. There was a lot of dancing as if no one was watching. And that is incredible. It's incredible to witness people, like, dancing to flute music. I'll tell you that. It was amazing. And he played Gray Street, which is one of my favorite songs, to close, and the crowd, like, lost its mind, including me. And then I let the song played for like 2 minutes, and I was like, we're not staying for the encore. We left to beat everybody to the parking lot.
Gotta get to the parking lot. Get out of here.
Yeah, I know you're going to do a hit or something after I leave. I will pretend I can hear it from the car. See ya.
You're not even going to wait for a crash into me? You're just going to leave?
Yeah. Yeah. I went to see Gaga once at the United Center in Chicago, which is huge. And she had not done Bad Romance. This was on the like Monsters Ball tour. And I went with my friend Laura, and the show ended, and we were like, well, I guess we don't get to see her do Bad Romance. We're like the only two people going down the stairs. And then we just reached the door and we heard the rah-rah.
Yeah.
And so we ran back in and stood and listened to half of the song. And then Laura was like, we really got to go if we're going to get out of this parking lot alive. And we left.
You know,
I will leave on a hit if you leave the hit till the encore.
Sam, you and I are going to go to a Dave Matthews show, but we have to.
It would be incredible.
It'd be a delightful time.
And my treat.
Okay, let's go.
You know what I got to do is get us like backstage passes or something.
And
I'll figure it out.
Please, I'll leave that to you whenever you're ready. Let's go. Sam, this has been a delight. By the way, we've had 10 minutes to chat. It's been 45, and I love
you. I'm sorry, Jane. I'm this whole thing up. I'm sorry.
Not a chance. This was perfect. Sam, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been a dream come true, truly.
Elamin, you are a dream come true. Thank you for having me. I will come on anytime to talk about anything you want, truly.
Well, the next time there's a Ben Affleck news story, you know who I'm calling. It's you.
I will be there. I'll come on wearing a bat suit.
This is not how people end interviews. But Sam, thank you for doing this.
Thank you, Elamin. I love you so much.
I love you too.
I can't wait to talk to you soon.
Oh my God, you're the best. Okay, talk to you soon.
Okay.
Goodbye, friend. Samantha Irby is the author of Quietly Hostile. My God, we had so much fun chatting. I spoke to her from her home in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Her new book is out now. Go get it. It's called Quietly Hostile.